We welcome Billie Eilish to the channel for the first time. This right here, right now, is What Was I Made For?
I used to float, now I just fall down. I used to know, but I'm not sure now what I was made for. What was I made for?
Haunting. You know, that riff at the beginning, but just the way that she just casually slides into the high notes. But it's wild because you can hear the power behind her voice and the ability to push it if she needs to. But then Billie Eilish just has like this very whispered, breathy quality to her delivery. And like when they mix it, a lot of times as a singer, like, you know, they'll cut out the breaths that you take in between lines. For Billie, I feel like it's such an intimate listening experience, and you're almost like there with her as she's recording it. And they always just like leave every like breath and like even clicks, and like sometimes you can hear the tongue moving. You just hear everything basically, right? It's all left in there. Nothing's just cleaned up. It just has kind of that raw quality to it. There's some interesting lyricism to this too.
I used to float.
She's opening up the Barbie box.
Now I just fall down.
And yeah, I'm aware that this was for the Barbie movie, so I'm going to look at it from that lens because obviously we've got the Barbie box being open. I used to float, now I just fall down. Shout out to having twin daughters, right? Watching the Barbie movie, but used to float through the air, now I fall down, because in the movie, Barbie actually, like when she starts to have her existential crisis, instead of everything just being so plastic and artificial, she starts to want more, and then no longer is she floating through the air, she literally falls in the movie. So I love how that opening line, and then that could go so much deeper because it could just be Billie struggling just psychologically. I used to like float through the air, now I fall down, like gravity, the world, everything's weighed me down.
I used to float.
Beautiful piano underneath as well. Listen, I paused a lot. I'm sorry. That's kind of the nature of this channel, but I'm just a sucker for a piano and a beautiful female vocal.
Now I just fall down. I used to know, but I'm not sure now what I was made for. What was I made for?
What was I made for? I think I love the clever writing of this, because I think that's a question we all ask ourselves at some point in time. You know, what is our purpose? And we all have these existential moments. But literally for Barbie, like, what was my creation? What is the purpose of why I am here? And even to me, I think like the retro callback in terms of Billie's outfit, right? To more of like a classic dress for how females were supposed to look back in the day. Because if you look at, you know, the critique of Barbie, the relation of what its purpose was for Barbie and what it served, and, you know, the sexualization of women and the ideals of that and the critique of that, and now a masculine dominated world at the time, and then women now coming more into power, now finding themselves with a different identity versus what was popularized in pop culture at the time and stuff. It just, I don't know, like I'm looking at this and I think like a I Love Lucy type of dress in terms of what she's wearing, and like calling back to those days for many, which was nostalgic, but also at the same time, look at the critique of Barbie, the social critique of it all, and look how it ties in with what she's wearing and what time we're calling back to in period.
Taking a drive, I was an ideal, looked so alive. Turns out I'm not real, just something you paid for. What was I made for?
Wow, it's haunting.
'Cause I don't know how to feel, but I wanna try. I don't
I don't know how to feel, but I might try. Someday I might. And I loved the line before about, being real and just being an ideal. Also interesting that there's no pink. There's never any of that classic Barbie pink that's being shown. Oh. That looked like just like an earth shake, maybe metaphorical for the world just shaking and crumbling around Barbie.
Sad again. Don't tell my boyfriend it's not what he's made for.
Ken, you little preppy boy, that's not what you're made for. You can't take on this emotional spectrum. But again, if you look at literally why the Ken doll was created, no, he was not made for that. Neither was Barbie, right? Again, very clever writing, but you can still take this into a double. It's just, the human experience and just Billie trying to find her identity as a woman in the modern world.
What was I made for? 'Cause I don't know how to feel, but I wanna try.
Wow, just in the back of the mix, but I want to try. She's got these harmonies, but they're just super reverby. It's haunting. It's like a ghost in the mix, the way it's just filling out the space.
Something I'm not, but something I can be, something I wait for, something I'm made for, something I'm made for.
Wow. What a video. What a song. I'm sad. Sad boy music. Well, for me, obviously sad girl music for Billie. But what's really interesting is even the lines think I forgot how to be happy. Something I'm not, but something I can be. I do like that there's still that little bit of dangling optimism and hope amidst all of this existential crisis, really. And hang on, I just want to check the video because it's a one-take video, isn't it? All the way through. Yeah, there's no editing cuts. Very clever, right? I love when you can just take a simple concept, but because of your creativity, you can have layers to it. And you can be so deep with it, right? It's just a camera gradually coming in, gradually coming out. And then obviously you have the winds, you have the rain, you have the different tests, like the tests of life that come around, right? Society in this world, right? Ruining her playtime, essentially, her time. And to me, I take it as that innocence. It could be that loss of childhood innocence, right? And then coming to realize that, it's a much darker, more cynical world than you think. That power dynamics are not what you think. The gender identity is not what you think, right? And that to me is the symbolism of the rain, of the winds, of all of that coming in. And then at the end, she just closes it back up. She has a deep breath because she was still, we still latch on to that innocence. We still latch on to that childhood innocence. And I think the thing about the Barbie movie and just Barbies in general and life in general to me is that there's this duality, right? There's this duality of recognizing that no, things aren't the same. And that's okay. And we all have to embrace change and find a way forward and find empowerment in today's world and find empowerment and identity. And I think about having my 2 daughters and how I want them to be and the type of world I want to see them come into, right? And I want to see them chase whatever dreams that they have and not be restricted in any way and not feel like they have to conform to a certain expectation of how they're supposed to act or how they're supposed to be in a very centralized world, in a world that is still incredibly physically judgmental, and in a world that still struggles with identity politics. So I think there is that, but at the same time, there's also that innocence that playing with a Barbie doll represents, and sort of that blissful ignorance at the same time. But we all would give anything to kind of go back to that childhood youth and that childhood innocence, wouldn't we? Before the world shakes us down and breaks us apart. And I think there's a little bit of that when she still packs it all up and forgets a piece and runs back to that piece and grabs it. Almost like because it's still so hard to let go and it's so hard to move forward from it all. This is so much deeper to me. And I'm tripping over my words because my mind is going about 1,000 miles an hour right now, just trying to process all the layering to this for taking such a simple video and having such deeper meanings. And even with the lyricism itself and how cleverly it was written to reflect what happened in the Barbie movie versus to reflect Billie's personal situation, right? And her struggle with her identity and dealing with society in today's world. That was dope. Billie Eilish, you were Knoxville certified. Hope you guys like today's video. Listen, for some reason you're here at the end. Obviously, enjoy the content. Do me a huge favor, support the channel directly. Subscribe, notifications on. It really does go a long way. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay positive. So, Knoxville, I'll catch you again.